Hi, I'm Dr. Anndrea Hatcher from Olive Branch Parke Veterinary Clinic. Today I'm going to talk about the African Spurred or Sulcata tortoise. At their adult length, they are 24 to 36 inches long and they weigh between 100 and 200 pounds. Their enclosure temperature range should be 75 degrees at the cool side and 90 degrees Fahrenheit at the warm side. Their humidity should be 40%. They are diurnal and they don't hibernate. Their lifespan is 50 to 100 years. Their enclosure should be outdoors in a climate with a temperature range of 75 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit and low humidity year-round is best. If they are kept indoors, a turtle table will work until the tortoise gets too big. You don't want any clear sides because tortoises don't understand glass and they will hurt themselves trying to escape through it. Because of the size, strength, and temperature requirements, UVB requirements, and large amount of food required for these animals, they aren't very practical as inside pets. The equipment needed if you're going to keep an African spurred tortoise is a shallow water bowl for drinking and soaking. You don't want it to be too deep or the tortoise will drown. A UVB light, you should change the bulb every 6 to 12 months, 2 thermometers, a humidity gauge, and sand and dirt for digging. As far as food, the African spurred tortoise is an herbivore. You want to sprinkle the food with a calcium supplement. Offer daily Timothy hay and orchard grass or Bermuda grass, clover, green leafy vegetables such as dandelion greens, clover, kale, collard greens, mustard greens, endive, and escarole, and you should avoid fruits. New tortoises should be examined by a veterinarian and have a fecal sample checked for intestinal parasites. They should have a yearly physical exam and an intestinal parasite exam after that. A distressed tortoise crawled into a police station. "Officer, I was just robbed by a violent gang of snails." "Okay, calm down," said the officer. "Tell me everything that happened." "I'll try," said the tortoise, "but it all happened so fast." Strictly speaking, tortoises are land turtles, and the term turtle should be reserved for aquatic or semi-aquatic animals, but often people will use the term turtle to refer to both land and water animals. Tortoises are reptiles, which means they are cold-blooded, so they rely on their environment to regulate their body temperature. Tortoises range in size from a few centimeters to 2 meters. Most tortoises are herbivores. They are slow-moving animals that rely on their shell for protection. Remember Aesop's fable, The Tortoise and the Hare? The speedy hare is certain that he can beat the slow tortoise at a race. In his overconfidence, the hare takes it easy and doesn't pay attention until too late, and the slow and steady tortoise actually wins the race. The tortoise comes out ahead when it comes to lifespan, too. It isn't uncommon for some tortoises to outlive their human owners. Records for such long-lived animals can be a little shaky, but some sources say the second longest living vertebrate animal was a tortoise. The oldest was reportedly a koi that lived to be 226 years old. The tortoise was named Tua Malaya and was a gift from a British explorer, Captain Cook, to the Tongan royal Chinese family in 1777. Tua Malaya lived to be 188 years old. Tortoises often live to be 100, even up to 150 years old, so this is a pet that you need to leave directions for in your will. Although it would be handy, counting the rings on a tortoise's shells, like the rings in a tree trunk, is not an accurate way to determine a tortoise's age. Although tortoises don't move quickly, they do move and some grow quite large. They aren't ideal indoor pets because they can cause a surprising amount of damage to drywall and furniture. They are better suited to an outer pen in Arizona than our sometimes cold, rainy, and snowy Indiana. Another thing to keep in mind when considering either a tortoise or a turtle for a pet is that reptiles may carry the bacteria Salmonella. Salmonella can cause disease and potentially death in children younger than 6, the elderly, and immunosuppressed people, such as those with HIV, organ transplant recipients, or those undergoing chemotherapy. Reptiles that are carriers of Salmonella don't look sick. The Salmonella bacteria can't be washed off the animals, and antibiotics won't clear the bacteria from the animals. Since 1975, it has been illegal in the United States to sell turtles that are less than 4 inches in diameter, so that small children can't fit them in their mouths. After careful consideration, if you decide that a tortoise is the pet for you, get one from a tortoise rescue organization such as Indiana Turtle Care at www.indianaturtlecare.com. Because tortoises live so long and need so much space, rescue organizations can't keep many at a time and are quickly overwhelmed. When people decide they no longer want a pet tortoise or turtle, releasing them into the wild isn't a kind option. The animals usually starve or freeze to death because they aren't adapted to our local outside environment. If you see a tortoise or a turtle on the road, pick them up as long as it is safe for you to do so, and put them at the side, still going in the same direction. If you turn them around, they'll end up stubbornly heading in the same direction they were heading before and end up crossing the road again. Slow and steady wins the race as long as there aren't any cars.